Okay, we're into 1968 now, and we've got the same city officials, mayor and council.
Zach, see if he's recording. Okay.
Yes, excuse us for a moment. Here we go. What music? Hey Jude. And Love is Blue. Honey, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. There's got to be some classics in this.
Big O.
People got to be free.
Yeah.
I do not remember Sunshine of Your Love.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hey Jude was the longest song they made up until that point.
Yeah, I can believe that. This Guy's in Love with You, Herb Albert, remember that? And of course, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly from the movie. And Mrs. Robinson. Everyone remembers Mrs. Robinson.
And then Tighten Up.
I don't remember Tighten Up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do? But the movies. I remember all of these. Funny Girl with Barbra Streisand. It was 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't. And then you had The Odd Couple, you know, which was, you know, I can't remember the actor's name. Walter Matthau
Yeah.
was one of them. Yeah, and was it Lemon?
Jack
Lemmon.
Jack Lemmon.
They ended up playing in Grumpy Old Men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they had a TV show too, as I recall. And then you've got Bullet.
Yeah.
Still remember that Mustang going over that hill.
Steve McQueen.
Yep. And Oliver, a great movie. Planet of the Apes, Rosemary's Baby. I missed Romeo and Juliet, but I remember Yours, Mine, and Ours, and The Lion in Winter.
The Romeo and Juliet song was on your previous slide.
Yes.
Done. Okay.
Okay, well, we just thought it was so good.
Crying in my bedroom over that story.
The Lion in Winter, it was Katharine Hepburn became the first actress to receive 3 Oscars for her performance in Lion in Winter. It's very historical, but the plot is too complicated to repeat. And here is the setting for 1968. People like me remember the capture of the USS Pueblo by the North Koreans, taking it off the coast of North Korea. Tet, I was still in the Army at that time, though I had just left Vietnam. And so the Tet Offensive was a real shock to most of us. L.B. Johnson saying that he wasn't going to run was a real surprise as well.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Martin Luther King being assassinated. I mean, you've just got monumental things that are happening in 1968. Robert Kennedy was assassinated. A nice thing, the 747 came out that year.
Yeah.
But then you've got, if you recall, in Mexico, the athletes with the Black Fist Black Power event. November 22nd, Star Trek airs American TV's first interracial kiss.
Oh, shoot.
I looked that up. That was Captains Kirk and Nichelle Nichols, Lieutenant Uhuru.
Yeah, right there.
And I got to tell you, when I was reading about it, it was really fascinating because the producer didn't want to actually show them kissing. They were supposed to almost like air kiss, and they were going to do it from an angle from behind her so they couldn't see the kiss itself. But Nichelle and Shatner, every time they tried to do that, they pulled a stunt so that the tape was unusable. And they kept, it took them, I forget the number, but it was an enormous number of takes before they actually got to it. And at that point, the producer just gave up and took one of them actually kissing. So you do actually see them kissing. There's a little bit of argument of whether it's the first interracial kiss or not, but it seems to stand. The others were like kiss on the cheek and things of that nature. But what's also interesting was a statistic that said this was immediately after the Supreme Court had ruled that denying interracial marriage was illegal. But at that point, 3% of all marriages had been interracial already. Within a year or two after this, 17% of all marriages were interracial.
Wow.
Not that this was the cause or the spark even, but it's just, I found that an interesting fact. And of course, Apollo 8 is the first manned spacecraft to orbit the moon. They did not land, they orbited. This is Frank Borman, and I forget the other two that were on it. They circled the moon, I think it was 7 or 8 times. They took the first picture from the far side of the moon at this point.
Yeah.
And the cars. Cars have not changed dramatically here. Except we see the Shelby Cobra, he's trying to make it a commercial thing here. Before then, Shelby had been producing race cars, and now he's trying to sell it to the public. He didn't last long, unfortunately. They were fabulous cars, but very expensive. And you can see all of the others. Yeah, I own several of those cars. And I will say, I loved them all. The Ford Mustang, the Mercury Cougar, wonderful cars.
Yeah.
That Ford Bronco, that was the beginning of SUV type.
That's right.
cars.
There you go. One of the very first SUVs,
Yeah.
if you will. Not quite a Jeep, not quite a truck, certainly not a car. And Graham's Warehouse. I grew up right next to this place. And it was a marvelous warehouse, though there wasn't, I mean, it's just the playgrounds, you know. I was surprised at the size, 100,000 square foot. Really huge.
Now, is that
That is where
headed out to the
the,
airport?
no,
No, it's on the corner of where the thrift store is now. It's on the corner of Dancing and
Main Street,
Church,
Church Street, yeah, Church.
okay?
It's right there at the thrift shop.
It's actually where Babcock
It's-
was.
Yeah, Babcock's thrift shop.
And you'll notice it said that there was a bread warehouse across Rogers Avenue behind the warehouse. The fire was so
It
intense,
was the Sunbeam Bread Company.
yeah, that it burned that bread warehouse as well. That's between where now the art studio is in the corner. That's
Yeah.
where the bread warehouse was located, where his garden shop is now.
And Jamie almost caught that warehouse afire.
Not me. No, that was our brother
Oh,
and our cousin. They liked to camp out in an open field right next to it, and during the off season, it was all straw and weeds.
yeah.
And
They were trying to smoke rabbit tobacco.
rabbit tobacco.
They started a fire.
Set the fire.
Caught the field on fire. Yeah.
So, okay, this is Miss Janie Bushhart running a program. Basically, it's a sort of like an internship where students, sort of like what we do here in the Continuum today, I think, where students go to class. There, they would go to work during the week and get some experience. Now they come here and get hands-on experience in things like welding and air conditioning and electrical, electrical whatever, service, training, if you will. But they had this so long ago. It's amazing how many good ideas cycle through times. They come, they go, and they return.
Yeah. Some of them went to the bank.
Yeah.
You know, I think one of them started.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
And they're still thinking they're going to get that lake. Those poor people. As I said, the main part of the lake will be about 10 feet deep.
That 70 landowners were involved.
And Jimmy Trulot evidently put an enormous amount of effort in it.
Oh, yeah.
The legislature set up a lake commission, gave it power of eminent domain. It's amazing that it didn't get completed back then with that much state support.
Yeah.
Okay. And the boys, this is the first year of the 6A championship. And Lake City won it. With Dan Floyd, Alan Welch, Randy Flanagan, Steve Thomas, Bill Gamble, Terry Prosser, Curry Funk, Coach Bridgman, Ronnie Gaskins, and Spencer Dixon. And here are the girls' basketball team. There's a bunch of names.
Hi, Jerry.
Wilma Jones went out of the
Is what?
Wilma Jones became a, college basketball coach.
Who?
Oh, Lucia.
Who is she?
I got it wrong. It's Lucia, not Wilma.
Now, Bobby Bridgman had been the coach in Lake City for quite a while. Not sure when he came.
Not 2 or 3 years.
Oh, only 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, yeah. From 66
To now?
to now. Yeah.
Okay. So he moves on to McClinigan High.
And then from McClinton High to West Florence.
Okay.
And then Bobby Ivy came.
Now, Bobby Ivy was probably a good choice. It took less than a week for them to hire Bobby Ivy. Bobby Ivy had been in Marion, came to Lake City. When he left here, he went to Rock Hill, and then he went to Lawrence. He, at Lawrence, won a state championship. He is in the South Carolina Football Coaches Hall of Fame. He won over 206 games during his career. So, had a good one.
And he made Lake City pretty well. I mean,
Where did he live?
Where? Oak Street. Okay, and GTE is upgrading its equipment in Lake City so that not everybody has to have a party line.
yeah.
Though, at this point, they're even offering 4 party lines.
There's a lot of
Wow.
going on.
Oh, man. Things you hear. And here we go with another, this next year also, 100 members of the graduating class. Once again out at the Pentecostal Tabernacle. So here we go.
Super cockpit.
There's a lot of Daniels in there.
There were.
Yeah.
They're not our they're not our kin, but
Yeah,
are they?
yeah, Donnie is. Yeah.
Well, what do I know? Adrian Godwin up there. I would have never picked her out from this without the name.
Jim Holloway,
Yep.
Kenny Lee.
That Joseph Kirby, right, there you go. Go back to that, please.
Back.
Kenneth Lee, is that you?
Yeah,
How about that?
Is that you?
yeah. Second to the bottom. Yeah.
Okay.
Vicky Matthews.
Okay. Steve Moe. Harold Poston.
Paul Mole's still around.
Ken, is that this year Henry got killed?
Is what?
Yeah,
This thing up here,
the last one.
next year?
Yeah, 69, I think. Gwen Tommy, which is Greg and Jim's sister.
Okay.
T. Ward. Yeah. I think he started with us, Harry. I think T. Ward started with us. Got his Sunday school. I mean, he had a perfect attendance. I mean, about 10, 15 years.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The hippies come to town.
Look for them and look for them. Never find.
You're probably better off. You dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Oh, this is I'm not exactly sure where this is. It looks to me like I was thinking Vox, but no. It says it's
It was over Cameron Town.
Cameron Town.
It was right near Cameron Town. Yeah.
But I mean, they were just doing their thing, not bothering a soul
Yeah.
when they get raided.
Weirdly painted pine cones.
And a 6-foot python snake
Yeah.
that they could not find.
White horse.
Oh. A white horse and 200 kittens. Now you gotta remember, $5,000 would have been about 50,000 today.
It's a lot of money.
Now have, 4 young kids, how they gonna come up with $50,000?
Wonder what their stereophonic recordings were.
Yeah, they don't give the ages, I don't recall, but I'm thinking these kids had to be at least high school grads, young people.
In Durant was, in Durant was,
Yeah.
And how old was he at this point?
Chili did, and I went out there to see the snake.
Super acid.
Unidentified drug, right, yeah. I love that poster. Superior acid blows the mind.
Blow your mind, yeah.
And of course, they have to go to court.
Don't come back to South Carolina.
Oh, Lord.
They kicked him out of the state.
This Judge Baker, were he to come back today, he would literally blow his mind.
Get him out of my courtroom.
Disgrace to the criminal element. But they were jovial and intelligent.
We don't have names.
They still bomb.
No. There are people who know them, but no names were given.
No.
And no movies on Sunday. Yep.
Yeah.
180 voted against it versus 159 in favor. And actually, being that close was something of a surprise to me.
And then we went to Florence.
Yeah. And the state bank, right over there,
Yeah.
opened in that September of that year. They had moved from the corner where the vault is now to here in 62. Our mother worked there in both places, both locations.
I was gonna say, didn't they keep this one open even though they built?
No, they had both open.
They had both.
Yeah. That was the branch. They also had one in Scranton.
Yep. And Lake City, the center of labor dispute. Wentworth Manufacturing Plant. They had a lot of employees at that time. Yeah. And 500, it said, in Lake City. And they were all, I don't think they were all on strike. There was some indication that some of them crossed the line, the picket line, so to speak. Though it never said exactly how many. Okay. Okay, and Carolina Academy. Its origins begin this year, in 1968. So they are planning.
Yeah, they were, the school was on Thomas Street, almost right behind.
Right, well, it's a daycare center now.
Yeah,
And here we go more on the union situation, where the union claims that they had negotiated a contract, but management refused to sign it. And so the union invited the president to come to a meeting with the employees that was going to be held at the Armory, where he probably wisely decided not to attend.
So was this the beginning of the end?
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know how much longer it lasted after this. do you?
yeah, because they were thinking about going to Texas at the time.
And of course, the textile industry, particularly garment, was in real trouble at this point anyway. You know, everything is beginning to move offshore, even this early.
There you go.
And here they go, unfair labor practices, refusing to sign a negotiated contract. But apparently it was signed shortly thereafter. They're talking about Texas. Texas, from what I read in this, Texas was never really an issue, except that they talked about it a lot. They were afraid of losing their jobs. The company keep insisting that that's not what they plan to do.
Right.
So,
Just getting closer to Mexico.
Where was the Wentworth plant in Florence?
I do not know.
Where?
Yeah.
In Florence? It was at the airport, right near the airport. Okay.
Okay. And the council race this year, there are 3 Republicans nominated to fill the council seat. Paul Poston, Bill Pollock, and Jimmy Trulock. And Paul Poston is the one that won it that year. So if there were 3 Republicans, there had to be 3 Democrats, because there were a total of 6 people running, or 3 independents. Oh yeah, 2 incumbent Democrats, okay. I guess I never really knew that Lake City Council was a political, as in aligned with a party position. We don't do it now, so thankfully. And
Kenny lives in this one. Yeah,
there you go.
number 84.
Yep.
Craig Thomas, number 70. Randy Weaver, 42.
Bo Cockfield,
Yeah,
number 12 back there.
He went on to
61.
play at Mississippi State, didn't he?
What?
Didn't Bo Cockfield go on to play at
Mississippi State.
Yeah.
He did.
Southern Mississippi. Southern Mississippi.
Southern Mississippi.
Yeah. Jim Holloway, 74. Okay. The band
Those,
with the new uniforms.
yes, those are, I would love to know what those were. When I was in the band in the 50s, they were all wool.
Yeah.
And of
These
course,
were-
being hot in the summer, you still wore them.
Well, that's still the traditional material.
Really?
Yeah. Not saying everybody has it all the time, but that's still traditional material.
I remember
You know,
sweating.
Carolina's band still has wool.
I remember sweating through that uniform.
Yeah.
Oh, they were hot.
We've had games at Carolina when 4 or 5 band members would end up at the hospital by the time the game was over.
This is the first time they went and participated at Bristol, Tennessee. And John Epps got mugged.
I wish you had the names of them.
Yeah, we don't.
And Bill Whitlock in the back row with Ed Powell.
But that's a big band for Lake City, 66 members.
Yeah.
I like the way they featured the sousaphone in the middle of the back row.
Oh, where else would you put it?
And there's Jack Daniels.
Yes, in memory of Jack.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,